Kasama ka namin dito sa Cool FM. Ang iyong himpilan, ang iyong tahanan. Number 1 sa Mega Manila. Lahat ng drama, tawanan, balita at all-time favorite music hits. Sa lungkot at ligaya, kami pa rin ang inyong kasama. We're the place where you truly belong. Mula sa TVH Group of Networks, ito ang inyong himpilan. Ito ang inyong tahanan. Number 1 sa Mega Manila. This is koolNews Primetime.
Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. It is now 10:31 p.m. and this is koolNews Primetime. I am Cairo, and we are live on Cool FM and News Radio 93.1, where we serve the latest news headlines that truly care for you. The palace clarified that January 27, 2025 is not a holiday observed nationwide but a holiday only in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao and other Muslim areas defined in the Muslim Code. Its clarification followed an erroneous social media post that created confusion for the public. Executive Secretary Lucas Pasarin said in a statement Sunday it is not a national holiday. However, Pasarin also said that Muslim employees in non-Muslim areas such as the National Capital Region or Metro Manila are excused from reporting to work on Monday, January 27. Facebook page DepEd Tambayan PH has incorrectly claimed that January 27, 2025 was declared a nationwide legal holiday. The social media post has since been corrected. January 27, 2025 marks Israel Mijay, or the night journey and ascension of Prophet Muhammad. It is recognized as a Muslim holiday under Article 169 of Presidential Decree Number 1083, also known as the Code of Muslim Personal Laws of the Philippines. The palace said in a separate statement, Al-Isra Miraj is significant to Muslims as it serves as a test of faith for believers and considered a personal gift from Allah to the Prophet. It was also one of the greatest signs and miracles given to the Prophet after the Quran. It added. Meanwhile, the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, admitted that the unnecessary suffering for millions of Filipino members was due to disagreements of policies with the Department of Health. During a hearing of the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability on January 2022, PhilHealth President Emmanuel Ledesma acknowledged overlaps in the functions of the DOH and the state health insurer. He agreed that the inefficiencies must be resolved to improve healthcare delivery in the country. He issued these affirmations as Iloilo 1st District Representative Janette Garin criticized PhilHealth officials for failing to coordinate effectively with the DOH, noting that lapses have delayed healthcare services and wasted resources. The House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability was looking into the efficiencies, duplication of rules, and unused government subsidies of the two agencies. Garin, who is a former DOH secretary, said in Filipino in a statement released Sunday, in other words, PhilHealth cannot shoulder all health problems and the DOH cannot cover all hospital expenses either. Garin likewise explained, DOH is for promotive and preventive healthcare, while PhilHealth should focus on creative healthcare and catastrophic illnesses. DOH purchases should not be reimbursed by PhilHealth. PhilHealth packages should not overlap with DOH packages, she added. In the same hearing, PhilHealth Vice President Lemao Untalan said efforts to refine member enrollment lists and remove ineligible beneficiaries are underway. However, he noted that data from the Department of Social Welfare and Development, which is only updated every 4 years, contribute to inefficiencies in the members' lists. Lawmakers have questioned the retroactive enrollment of senior citizens before the Universal Healthcare Law took effect. Garin even criticized the outdated enrollment process as it led to unused funds that could have been utilized to expand benefits or lower premiums. Garin likewise flagged the persistent issue of hospitals inflating prices for medicines and laboratory tests when patients use their PhilHealth to cover hospital expenses. She said when PhilHealth pays, the prices of medicines and laboratory tests steadily increase. Health Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo meanwhile assured lawmakers that they are doing something to improve coordination between the DOH and PhilHealth. Let us map for his part vote to address the policy gaps and provide Congress with a report on how unused funds are managed. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is set to investigate the spread of fake news and disinformation in the country, aiming to uncover a massive information machinery. Three House panels, committees on public order, public information, and information and communications technology will jointly conduct the probe, which Santa Rosa City Laguna Representative Dan Fernandez will spearhead. On Monday, January 27, the House committees will hold their first executive briefing. Fernandez said in a statement Sunday, Filipinos have the right to the truth. We must protect our fellow citizens from false information that causes fear, confusion, and division in our society. In the same statement, the House said representatives from major social media platforms will be invited to the briefing to explain their policies on combating disinformation, cyberbullying, and harmful content. It added that the inquiry will examine the role of social media companies in addressing fake news and holding repeat offenders accountable, including irresponsible influencers and bloggers. The probe will also look into the broader consequences of disinformation on national security, particularly the West Philippine Sea dispute, and its impact on vulnerable sectors such as the youth and marginalized communities, according to the House. Fernandez emphasized the need for stricter safeguards and penalties against people or entities that manipulate information or for personal or political gain. We will not allow the system to continue where our fellow citizens are deceived. It's time to uncover those spreading lies for personal gain, he said. He then urged the public to stay vigilant and critical of the information they read or see online, stressing that fighting fake news requires collective action. Fernandez stressed, fake news is a poison that destroys our democracy. We will not stop until those behind it are held accountable and the proper protections for our citizens are in place. To those spreading lies, we warn you. We will ensure that those who spread fake news will be held accountable, he added. Meanwhile, election lawyer Romulo Macalintal criticized Senate Bill number 2816, which sets a 4-year term for barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan officials. He described it as unconstitutional, decisive, and misleading. In a statement on Sunday, Macalintal argued that the bill effectively postpones the barangay and SK elections scheduled for December 1, 2025 to May 8, 2029. He believes this change violates the voters' right to elect their leaders. The bill gives an additional 4 years of service for incumbent barangay and SK officials on a holdover capacity, violating the rights of voters to elect their own barangay officials, Macalintal said. He emphasized that the bill disregards the guidelines of the Supreme Court through the 2023 Macalintal versus Comelec decision, which declared previous attempts to postpone the BKSE as unconstitutional. He further cited the SC ruling in the case, which stated that postponing elections requires reasons sufficiently important, substantial, or compelling under the circumstances, and that shortness of the existing term does not justify such move. The bill's sponsor, Senator Amy Marcos, defended the proposal, saying it will allow barangay and SK officials to deepen their understanding of both national and local issues. However, Macalintal dismissed this justification, questioning why similar extensions are not being applied to other local officials whose terms remain at 3 years. If deeper understanding of the issues affecting a locality could not be grasped in 3 years, how come the term of office of provincial governors, city or municipal mayors, and other elected officials remained at 3 years only? The election lawyer asked. Macalintal further criticized the bill for violating the constitutional provision that stated a bill must not embrace more than one subject which shall be expressed in its title. He described it as a form of lock rolling legislation, combining unrelated provisions such as term extensions, election postponement, and holdover capacities for incumbents. Malacanang also pointed to opinions from Supreme Court Justice in the Macalintal versus Comelec case, emphasizing that extending the terms of incumbent officials undermines democracy. Supreme Court Justice Alfredo Calguioa had written in his separate opinion on the case, Congress cannot enact laws that extend the term of incumbent barangay and SK officials, for they are unconstitutional for violating the democratic underpinnings of our governmental system, wherein elected officials serve by virtue of winning an election. Macalintal called on President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to veto the bill, describing it as appalling, shocking, and ridiculous, and urged careful scrutiny of any law that infringes on the right to vote. A law changing the schedule of elections is a whole different animal. Thus, any infringement of the right to vote must be carefully and meticulously scrutinized, he said, quoting Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo. Coming up later on koolNews Primetime, in international headlines, Trump referee embargo cancels hope for Afghan migrants. South Korea President Yoon indicted as ringleader of an insurrection. In sports, Jannik Sinner urges past Zverev to retain title of Australian Open. Wembanyama reflects on amazing week in Paris, which is first of NBA. And in showbiz entertainment, Park Bo-young, Choi Woo-shik star in new Valentine's K-drama Mellow Movie. It is now 10:41 p.m. as we will return with more news headlines right here on koolNews Primetime after the break.
This koolNews edition was brought to you by Katip's Hot Dog. Amoy na amoy ang sarap. Kids can tell. QBA Telecom's all-new Area Saya 30. Now with 10 gigabytes access to Mobile Legends, PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty, Wild Rift, Cookie Run Kingdom, and Clash Royale for 7 days. QBA Telecom, connecting every Filipino story. Ginuman San Rafael, ganadong mabuhay. Venom Powered Shit Energy Drink with Malunggay. Ultron Blaze 100 Euro 6 for a more powerful, cleaner, and efficient engine. And Delsat TV. Enjoy SD and high definition channels when you subscribe to Delsat TV. Deeply thoughtful and heartful tunes? Kool FM is here for you. Love knows no boundaries on Mamon's Music Hangout. Thursdays, 9:30 p.m. Enjoy your Sunday mood swings with Easy Jazz. Sundays, 12 p.m. Your favorite old love songs, straight from the heart. Dream Cars, Soulmate Sonata. Saturdays, 2 p.m.
Things are meant to be.
And go back in time through the night on the classic hits. The classic hits. Weeknights daily. All these and more on Kool FM. This is your station. This is home. Number 1 sa Mega Manila. You're listening to Kool FM.
Number 1 sa Mega Manila.
Nationwide pa!
Extra strong? Andito na ang Leon Extra Strong Beer. Bangis ng dating, bangis ng sarap, bangis ng kagat, at 7% ABV. This is Gerald Anderson for Leon Extra Strong Beer. Tikman ang bangis ng Leon. Bangis ng presyo, 47 pesos SRP for 500 ml at 95 pesos SRP for 1 liter. Drink responsibly.
Magdoble ingat dahil advance na ang mga scammers ngayon. Kaya nilang gumawa ng IMSI catcher na parang fake cell towers para kumonek sa phone mo. Gamit to, nagsisend sila ng text na may link na kunwari galing sa mga legitimate institutions tulad ng GCash. Pag makatanggap ng message with a link, SMS spoofing scam yan. Tandaan, GCash will never send links. Kahit GCash ang nag-text ng link, huwag mong i-click. Galing ang SMS sa scammers na gumagamit ng illegal cell site para ma-hijack ang SMS. GCash is supervised by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Kahit GCash ang nag-text ng link, huwag mong i-click. SMS spoofing scam yan. Galing ang SMS sa scammers na gumagamit ng illegal cell site para ma-hijack ang SMS. Tandaan, GCash will never send links.
Mamadaming time sa lahat ng gusto nyo. Mamadaming time, Champion Detergent ang gamit ko. Champion na!
Sa
sa Champion Quick Wash Technology. Less time sa labada, more time sa pamilya.
Good morning, Miss Grace. Tell me about yourself.
Hello po. So, graduate po ko sa bungi, major in bungi, magna cum bungi. Ako po ay very bungi worker. And I think I can be a great bungi to this company.
Tulad ka ba ni Grace na mas pansin ang bungi kaysa sa credentials?
Miss Bungi, Grace, sa ngayon wala kaming opening. We'll get back to you na lang, ha?
Kung ikaw rin ay may bungi prob sa job hunting, maaari kang mabigyan ng Polydent ng libreng pustiso sa Oplan Balikngiti program. Go to polydentbalikngiti.com now.
Protection
Yakult!
with 8 billion live LCS
Yakult!
that may reach the intestines alive.
Yakult!
Helps improve digestion and boost immunity.
Yakult!
With proper diet and exercise,
Yakult! Kaya panalo ka dyan!
Yo, it's the saint himself, Dwight Ramos.
Hey yo, Jeremiah, what are you having?
Alam mo na, yung Primera Clase.
Primera Light Brandy.
Primera Classic Night.
From Spain, award-winning premium blend.
Smooth. Now this is our Primera Classic Brandy. Primera Light Brandy. Dahil Primera Classic ka.
Drink responsibly.
Senator Amy Marcos, salamat at hindi mo pinabayaan ang mga solo parents.
Deserve naman nila.
Salamat sa dagdag insentibo sa mga matatanda.
Deserve nila yan.
Salamat sa pagbura ng utang ng magsasaka.
Deserve na deserve.
Senator Amy Marcos, the service we deserve.
Deserve.
This is a paid advertisement.
Pangarap ay umangat pero minsan ay sanungat. Kabayanin kita sa Ginebra. Ikaw ang inspirasyon. Kahit di madali, katuwang sa bawat sandali. Kabayanin kita sa One Ginebra Nation. Kaya para sa barangay, ako naman pagbibigay. Kabayanin tayo, kabayanin kita.
Drink responsibly. Eto na ang dagdag puhunan para sa mga magsasaka, mangingisda at agrarian reform beneficiaries. Hatid ng Land Bank ang AgriSenso Plus. Ang murang pautang na may libreng life insurance at training para sa iyong kabuhayan. Simple, abot kaya, kumpleto at maasahan sa pangangailangang pangkabuhayan. Mag-apply na sa pinakamalapit na Land Bank branch o tumawag sa 0284057000. Land Bank AgriSenso Plus. Kasama mo sa magandang bukas. Your future powered by Land Bank. Land Bank is regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and a member of PDIC and BancNet.
Goodbye to Midman Shop. Hello, Bright Bar Blue. Isang labanan yan. Bright Bar Blue.
Bright Bar Blue with powerful stain-away enzymes. Malupit magtanggal ng dumit mancha pero di masakit sa kamay.
Goodbye to Midman Shop. Hello, Bright Bar Blue. Isang labanan yan.
As tested ang cotton and polycotton. Sa mancha, malupit. Sa kamay mo, mabait. Pride Bar Blue. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified. World-class quality.
ACS.
Welcome back to koolNews Primetime. Let's get into the international headlines as South Korean prosecutors indicted impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol on Sunday for being the ringleader of an insurrection after his abortive declaration of martial law ordering the suspended leader to remain in detention. Yoon plunged the country into political chaos with his declaratory bid to suspend civilian rule, a move which lasted just 6 hours before lawmakers defied armed soldiers in parliament to vote it down. He was impeached soon after, and earlier this month became the first sitting South Korean head of state to be arrested. That came after a weeks-long holdout at his residence, where his elite personal security detail resisted attempts to detain him. In a statement, prosecutors said they had indicted Yoon Suk-yeol with detention today on charges of being the ringleader of an insurrection. He has been held at the Seoul Detention Center since his arrest, and the formal indictment with detention means he will not be kept behind bars until his trial, which must happen within 6 months. The indictment was widely expected after a court twice rejected requests by prosecutors to extend his arrest warrant while the investigation proceeded. They said in a statement, after a comprehensive review of evidence obtained during investigations, prosecutors concluded that it was only appropriate to indict the defendant. The need to keep Yon behind bars was justified by a continued risk of evidence destruction, they said. The specific charge, being the ringleader of an insurrection, is not covered by presidential immunity, they added. The opposition yelled the indictment. We need to hold not only those who scheme to carry out an illegal insurrection, but also those who instigated it by spreading misinformation, said lawmaker Hang Min-so. Without providing evidence, Young and his legal team have pointed to purported election fraud and legislative gridlock at the opposition-controlled parliament as justification for his declaration of martial law. Young has vowed to fight to the end, earning the support of supporters who have adopted the "stop the stereotype" associated with U.S. President Donald Trump. Bae Gang-hong said, who is the co-founder of political think tank Velit, this indictment will provide a sense of relief, reaffirming that the constitutional order is functioning as it should. Young also faces a series of constitutional court hearings to decide whether to uphold his impeachment and strip him formally of the presidency. If the court rules against Yoon, he will lose the presidency and election will be called within 60 days. And after working for years alongside the United States to combat the Taliban in Afghanistan, Sarah said she was just days from being evacuated to America when President Donald Trump suspended refugee admissions. She sold her belongings as she awaited a flight out of Pakistan, where she has been embroiled in the 3-year process applying for a refugee scheme Trump froze in one of his first acts back in office. The 27-year-old former Afghanistan Defense Ministry worker told AFP or HS Press Press from Islamabad, but we stood with them for the past 20 years. All I want is for them to stand up for the promise they made. The only wish we have is to be safe and live where we can have peace and an ordinary human life, she said, stopping down the plane and speaking under a pseudonym to protect her identity. The 2031 withdrawal of US-led troops from Kabul ended 2 decades of war but began a new exodus as Afghans clamored to escape Taliban government curbs and fears of reprisal for working with Washington. Trump's executive order to pause emissions for at least 90 days starting from June 27 has blocked around 10,000 Afghans approved for entry from starting new lives in the United States, according to nonprofit #AfghanEvac. Tens of thousands more applications and process have also been frozen, the US-based organization said. #AfghanEvac chief Sean Diver told HS Press Friends, all sorts of people that stood up for the idea of America, now they're in danger. We owe it to them to get them out. And now it's time for sports. A clinical Janet Sinner swept past Alexander Zverev to retain his Australian Open title Sunday and strengthen his status as the world's dominant player, becoming the first Italian to win 3 Grand Slams. The 23-year-old came through the tenth battle between the world's top 2 players with 6-3, 7-6, and 6-3 on the Rod Laver Arena, raising his arms in the air and looking to the sky in celebration. In doing so, he became the first Italian, man or woman, to win 3 Grand Slams, surpassing Nicola Pietrangeli's 2. The victory also thrust him alongside Andre Agassi, Roger Federer, and Novak Djokovic as the only man to successfully defend their Melbourne Park titles this century. But it proved more misery for Germany's Zverev, who remains one of the world's best players never to taste Grand Slam glory, falling short once again in his 3rd big final. High school Sinner proved to be a tower of mental strength in Australia, with his defense coming against the backdrop of an ongoing doping case after Heat for is tested positive for traces of the steroid closed the ball last year. Hanging over his head has been a woke anti-doping agency appeal against his exoneration, with the global body seeking a long bail. A hearing is scheduled at the Court of Arbitration for Sport for April. But he cast all the worries aside to notch a 19th career title and extend his incredible win streak to 21 matches. Last year, Sinner needed 5 sets to tame Daniil Medvedev and win his first Grand Slam, but it never looked like going the distance this time. He opened with a statement ace and won his first 2 service games to love, with Zverev struggling to get himself into the contest. The German fought back to save 2 break points and hold for 2-2, serving his way out of trouble. He began to find his nuclear, taking 4 points off the next Sinner serve in a game that went to reduce twice as the rallies built. But the dam finally burst into a kick. Zverev saved 3 break points but had no answer to afford when he was beaten by a blazing passing shot to slap 5-3 behind. Sinner took the set in 46 minutes and kept the pressure on in the second as cracks began to appear in his opponent's game. The Italian has a phenomenal ability to turn recovery shots into momentum-changing ones, and he aced 15-40 clear of the Zverev serve at 1-1. Once more, the second seed dug deep to clean on. From then on, they couldn't be separated, and it went to a tie break where Sinner got a lucky net cord that dribbled over to break for 5-4, and he streaked to a 2-set lead. Sinner has won all 4 tie breaks he's played in Melbourne and 16 from his last 18. Zverev smashes Rakitic in frustration at the changeover, and it didn't get any better in the third set, worn down by the rudderless Italian. Sinner broke for 4-2 when Zverev sent a forehand long, and there was no way back for the increasingly disillusioned 27-year-old. Zverev came into the clash with a 4-2 record over Sinner, but all of those wins came before the Italian won a Grand Slam or rose to world number 1. Sinner won 8 titles last year, including the US Open and season-ending ATP Finals, and was the first player since Federer in 2005 to go through a season without a defeat in straight sets. And finally, the final tally for Victor Wembanyama's trip in Paris: 2 games, 50 points, 23 rebounds, 8 assists, 6 blocks, 2 courts dedicated, 1 trip to the Eiffel Tower, a Fashion Week appearance, a Champions League match attended, and about 1 million high fives. And 1 win. It wasn't the 2 he wanted from this homecoming, but there were a slew of other moments that make this trip back to Paris worth remembering. When Banyama said, "This week was amazing. I was just seeing my family. I'm not trying to get emotional, but everybody did their job to making this week incredible." Saturday's outcome wasn't what he wanted. In Indiana, 136, San Antonio 98 was the final, with Teresa Halliburton scoring 28 for the Pacers. But at least one thing was to Wembanyama's liking, sort of. He noted during the Olympics that the French are very passionate about their national anthem, and that when it's performed before sporting events, the fans tend to drum out the performer by singing it themselves. And finally, into the showbiz, South Korean actors Park Bong-yeon and Choi Wook-sik will portray the roles of a film critic and film director with a budding romance in the new K-drama Mellow Movie, which is set to be released on February 14. Park and Choi's upcoming drama was announced by a Korean streaming platform in a press statement earlier this month. Also part of the series are Lee Chul-yeon and Jeon So-ni. The upcoming K-drama tells the budding love story of Ko Ki-young and Kim Mo-bi, who bond over their mutual love for film. With Kim's passion for movies, she hopes to establish herself in the film industry despite her love-hate relationship with her father, as the latter always prioritized his career over his family. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 10:59 p.m. and that brings us to the end of koolNews Primetime. We will return with more news headlines tomorrow with koolNews at 6 before Asper's Coffee. You can also send us your comments, suggestions, and feedback and through our email at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. Until tomorrow, I'm Caro. Stay safe, have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow. Good night.